The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer, a very dejected Jeremy Greene alongside this morning.
Hey, let's try this again since we just did the first 3 minutes of this show before I figured out it wasn't on the fucking screen.
He's so befuddled by what happened last night on Monday Night Football that we're off to a little rocky start. But we are here for you in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different Tuesday morning. And the Buffalo Bills fell to the New England Patriots last night, 14-10 on Monday Night Football. Patriots winning despite the fact that they only threw 3 passes the entire game.
Things are a mess. It's a mess.
And now
I have heard so many people say, "Oh, it's so good." What in the good high holy hell was good about that?
you don't like good defensive battles?
No.
I mean, aside from all those rushing yards that the Buffalo Bills gave up last night, it was a defensive battle.
You know,
so to speak.
It's weird. You're gonna have to turn my headphones up. I feel like I'm in a tunnel. I've never actually seen this before, but apparently, yeah, whatever that was, that's good times.
I got you.
Apparently, Sean McDermott has a very rare disorder. Did you hear about this?
No.
So Sean McDermott has a very rare disorder. Every 40 seconds, he forgets what happened the 40 seconds directly preceding to that. It's very weird.
Yeah.
It's very rare.
All right.
4 documented cases in America every year.
Yeah.
And apparently, it was on full display last night. Armchair Commentary wants me to acknowledge him and his victory. Good for you.
That's all you got?
I said I would say nothing but nice things about the Patriots, and so I will. Their uniforms appeared to be very nicely pressed.
Come on. Last night.
What do you want from me? You came out and threw the ball 3 times. You know why you did that? It's not because this was some masterful, Bill's a genius. Because your quarterback can't fucking throw in the wind. I mean, what do you want me to say about that? If you have an IQ above salad dressing, you know I'm right. Because he threw 1 pass, almost got John O. Smith killed. He had to make the catch of the week to catch it, and then Bill went, well, fuck that.
But does
I'm
it
not doing that again?
But does it not say something for a coach who not only has the background that he has, but to be able to go into a game where he knows that his team has to be one-dimensional and still dominates like they did?
Dominates like they did. The Bills were in the red zone 4 fucking times. There's no
And they didn't score.
domination here. Yeah, because the Bills were completely out of their gourds. Run the damn ball. Mac Jones threw it 3 times. Josh Allen threw it 30 times. You're trying to tell me that this is genius and this is not fucking stupid? I feel like everybody's locked on the wrong side of this. Oh, Bill's a genius. Nobody's done that since 1974. Do you know why? Because it ain't that damn hard to stop. Why do you keep lining somebody up on Jacoby Myers? If you put $1 million on the field and told Mac Jones, hey, hit Jacoby on a 10-yard out, he'd just slide it back across the table. Can't do it. And yet you keep honoring it. Why? Why? Why do you keep putting Ed Oliver, who I think outweighs me by about 5 pounds, that's your run stuffer?
Right.
I'm going to say the same thing about Buffalo that I said about Georgia.
Okay.
The exact same thing. Somebody in the comments, Alexander said, look how inaccurate Allen was. I don't think you and I watched the same game. Because Josh Allen, there were at least 4 drops. Yeah, there were a couple passes that went awry. I mean, the kid was still 50% in a fucking monsoon.
Hell, I think Dawson Knox had 4 drops himself.
I know he had 3.
Yeah.
He had one that was a backbreaker. This isn't Bill's genius. He figured out very early on, you can't stop me. Sean McDermott had nothing. There was no, here's what drove me absolutely out of my gourd. I told you on Friday that's what this weather was going to look like? Yeah, apparently Sean McDermott learned about 5 minutes before kickoff. And that's the sign of a bad coach. At the end of the day, you're a bad coach if you didn't know exactly what they were coming out to do, and you had no answer for it.
Right.
Oh, Ramondre Stevenson ran so well. Do you know how many tackles he broke last night?
No.
This is not an official number as of right now.
Right.
Because it'll take a day for whoever comes up with that to do whatever they do.
Mm-hmm.
He broke 14 tackles in one game.
That's a lot.
In one game.
Yeah.
And I think he only carried the ball. I mean, hell, I don't have the box score up in front of me. Because it wasn't a ton. Damian Harris was without a doubt the better running back. But be really honest with yourself about what you saw from New England last night.
Ramondre Stevenson had 24 carries last night.
Did he really?
24 carries for 78 yards. He averaged 3.3 yards a carry.
Okay. That's markedly more than I thought it was.
Damian Harris.
Damian Harris got hurt.
Yeah, and he had 10 carries, but he had that big 67-yard touchdown, I think it was. 64-yard touchdown.
But be honest with yourself about New England's offense.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it was one 64-yard run and a bunch of the same shit Buffalo did. That's all it was.
Yeah.
You just so happened to be going that way when you had 2 field goal opportunities. By the way, I would be remiss if I didn't say this. I don't know who told Sean McDermott, hey, let's try this field goal. That'll work.
Right.
Did you not watch warm-ups? Because I did.
Right, the 33-yarder into the wind.
Tyler Bass was missing those in warm-ups by the length of the building we're sitting in. In what fucking universe did that make sense? None of it made any sense. And at the end of the day, we do overreactions on Monday.
Yep.
Today is not Monday. But there are 2 huge overreactions. And I want to deal with the one that I feel like was the bigger narrative.
Okay.
The Bills are not a Super Bowl contender. And that's an overreaction to what you saw last night, but it's factually accurate. That's not a Super Bowl team, period.
If you can't stop the run,
the coattails of Josh Allen. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing else about that team that works the way it's supposed to. Stephon Diggs.
Right.
The defense, I talked about how good the defense was against the run. No, they're not. No, they're not. They get ahead of teams. And that is, I wish I had done the deep dive before.
Right.
But there's a lot of Houston Texans where you were up 2 possessions within 10 minutes. Of course teams don't run on you.
They abandon the run. They have to pass because they're chasing points.
And I got news for you. They play Tampa. What do you think's going to happen?
Leonard Fournette's going to eat them alive.
Run down their throat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe Sean McDermott's a good coach. I have never really understood what it was that people saw in him. I know in this market he's a former Panther defensive coordinator, so I get why you like him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand what it is that you see in him that's so good. Brian Daboll, never understood that either. He was a Jets assistant for years.
Right.
I never got it. I still don't get it.
The coaches have been propped up by Josh Allen. Is that the overarching theme here?
I mean, I would be remiss. I said I wouldn't say anything but nice things about the Patriots. So you do a very good job of beating shitty teams. So do the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
I've said about New England forever. I kind of have to lay it over on Buffalo too.
Right.
You can beat bad teams. Other than that, you're just not very well coached.
Mm-hmm.
Leslie Frazier is not a very good defensive coordinator. I understand he's a name and he's been in the league forever. You had no adjustment. None.
What adjustment could they have made?
I would literally have stacked 11 in the box and said, hey, Mac, you want to do it? Do it. I'll leave your receiver wide fucking open. I don't care.
Is that not dangerous, though? I mean, even in the heavy wind.
He couldn't have hit them.
Really?
He threw 3 passes the entire game, both of them. Both of the 2 he completed. One required a Jonnu Smith just absolute act of God, and the other one should have been picked off.
It was a great catch by Jonnu, though.
I mean, it was a fantastic catch.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you, Armchair said in the comments, I don't know if he's agreeing with me or not, but one adjustment, that's what it would have taken.
Mm-hmm.
Stop putting out 6 undersized front 7 players and maybe try to match the fact that they're just running the ball down your throat.
Right.
Matt Milano, not a big linebacker. Greg Rousseau, what was my number 1 knock on Rousseau when he came out? He's thin.
Slight, yeah.
So is Ed Oliver. Jerry Hughes, why he plays in NFL football games, I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, it's just a really god-awful gameplay. I was so pissed off about this by the end of last night.
just screaming at your television. I could see it.
Is this the first time that we have seen a 40-mile-an-hour wind game?
No.
In the last, I don't know. I'm trying to do math. I'm 34. In the last 47 years, this is the first time we've seen this?
No.
It's the first time a team has ever done that. Why? Because when they're telling you exactly what they're doing, you should be able to stop. I don't care how good they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how good they are running the ball. If you know on every play they're running the ball, you should be able to stop it.
Right.
They couldn't. Arm tackles just in poor position. I think I was pissed about Onwenu getting away with holds early, and then I figured out you're sending two guys right at him.
Mm-hmm.
The officials aren't going to bail you out. I mean, hell, you're sending two of your 4 down linemen right at him. So, of course, they're not going to call that. Because it's not, it's a hold, but you can call it on every play. But they're not going to bail you out for your stupidity. And that's what I saw predominantly last night. You know what I'll give Bill credit for? He figured out real early on, they can't stop this.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I have to do anything else? You're not going to beat me at my own game. Last night, Bill did a masterful job of figuring out they can't stop this. Mm-hmm. So why would I do anything else?
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the bigger takeaway. The bigger long-term takeaway. I'm much angrier about what's on the screen right now. My bigger takeaway are the Patriots a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah. I would say they are.
That's not an overreaction, but it's not factually accurate.
I would say they are a Super Bowl contender. At this point, it's just Bill Belichick comes up with a game plan to win.
And here's what I saw. He was terrified of Mac Jones throwing in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's the last time he's going to see that?
No.
He plays in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Do you think every smart coach in this league, John Harbaugh, is the one that I could not stop thinking about last night?
Mm-hmm.
John Harbaugh's watching this going, I will kill you. I will wreck your soul if you bring him in here to play us.
Right.
Because I have Calais Campbell and Brandon Williams and all these big fellers that I don't think you're going to run like that on me. Especially if I know what you're doing. And I just looked at it and went, hey, you know what my takeaway is? The same thing it's been the whole time. You're very good.
Mm-hmm.
Your ceiling is way lower than you want to believe it is. Mac Jones is not a cold weather quarterback. I don't know if you knew this. This started trending on Twitter last night. He hadn't seen snow in his life as of 2015. Had never seen his life.
Makes sense. What's he from, California? Or Texas?
I think he's from. I thought he was from Texas.
I can't remember. But that makes sense.
Where is he from?
From a warm weather climate.
Florida.
He's from Florida. All right. Oh, that makes sense. Well, that's why he was so big into Tebow and all. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. So he's from Florida, played at Alabama.
Somebody
never
asked
seen
what
snow
his
like
QBR
this.
was last night. It was 4.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4.3. That's pathetic.
I am baffled. I'm completely baffled that Buffalo could not do anything to stop them. I mean, because you see the same. Yeah, I mean, it's just the same rhythm every drive.
It was
just
the 4 same basic run concepts on lather, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
I went back and watched it after the game was over.
Yeah.
They ran the same 4 play. This was the only thing I could even equate this to is this is like the kid in Madden that finds a glitch that you can't stop and they just keep running it.
Right.
You tend to lose to that kid. Or you adjust.
Mm-hmm.
They never did. There was no adjustment whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I promise you, Andy Reid and John Harbaugh and hell, even Mike Vrabel, Frank Reich, we're looking at this going, he can't throw in weather.
I would be.
You have a huge fuck problem when you are the worst weather team in the NFL and you have a quarterback that can't play in it.
Mm-hmm. I would be concerned if I were the New England Patriots. I mean, now with the job that Bill Belichick has done with this team this year, I mean, what were we saying? Best possible scenario for them at the beginning of the year was 7-10, 8-9. Would it completely shock you? I believe I said this a couple of times. If they went 9-8 and snuck into the playoffs, you know, now they're here. Now they're at the 9-win threshold. They're number 1 in the AFC. Mm-hmm. And how good can it get? But when you get into the playoffs and you have to face these other teams that can score points in bunches, like think about this. What is Mac Jones going to look like when he has to go to Kansas City in the dead of winter?
Alexander asked in the comments, are you saying Mac can't throw or that Mac doesn't have weapons good enough like Tom to complete those throws? It's a little bit both. I can tell you this much. When Bill Belichick, one of the things that I've always, and I hate Bill Belichick with every fiber of my soul, but one of the things I've always respected about him, he's very transparent. There's not a lot that you have to think about with him because he lays it all out there. Mm-hmm. When you see Mac Jones throw 3 times in a game, that wasn't some grand scheme. That was him going, my best chance to win is you having nothing to do with it. That don't win in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Sorry about it. It doesn't. You're telling me you think that will work against Pat Mahomes? Because I got news for you. Josh Allen really did not struggle to throw in that wind. Oh, he was only 15 to 30. Cool. Take the drops away. Now what do we have?
Yeah.
Looks a hell of a lot more impressive.
Mm-hmm. That was one thing that I saw last night was it didn't matter. It didn't matter for Josh.
No,
he was still able to play against the wind, find his receivers.
It was much better when he was going against the wind. Mm-hmm. It was much better playing to the left side. Mm-hmm. Throwing to his left was no issue.
That Stephon Diggs catch
was a problem.
Yeah, that Stephon Diggs catch where he was able to toe tap inbounds. But that's the thing. I felt like they moved the ball well between the 20s, but once they got close,
both of them did the same thing.
It was just, I don't know, and maybe you saw this differently, but to me it was New England's discipline on defense and the scheme that they had.
Nope,
Buffalo just didn't have they just didn't have an answer for him once they got close.
Brian Daboll, and I love analogies. So let me see if I can, off the top of my head, come up with an analogy that the offensive game plan inside the 20s. You remember when you were a kid and your parents would take you to a toy store and they would buy you a toy and they would say, you can play with that when we get home, but we have to run errands first. And you would be staring at that toy going, sweet baby Jesus, I would do anything in my life to be able to rip this out, throw it in my PlayStation, play with it right now. Mm-hmm. That's Brian Daboll. He would get inside the 20 by doing very basic tenets of shit. Short passing game, running the ball. Why Josh Allen didn't run the ball more than he did, I have no idea. I don't know whether to put that on Daboll. I don't know whether to put it on Josh Allen. I don't know. He had 6 carries in the entire game. That is mind-bogglingly stupid because they struggled with it every time he did. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference between these two teams. If you think that New England is more talented than Buffalo, I have a fucking bridge to sell you.
Yeah.
The 5 best players on that field last night, 4 of them played for Buffalo. But they have one great big advantage. They got Bill, and Bill's a genius. Mm-hmm. And Sean McDermott is a fucking idiot. And that's the nicest way I can put it, because that is one of the worst game plans I've seen a coach go into a game with certainly in the 4 years I've been here. I've watched a lot of draft tape in the last 10 years. I'm trying to think of one that would even be equitably close on a stage that big. Mm-hmm. Because it was absolutely listless.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not trying to undercut New England. Hey, Patriots fans, if you want to feel like the big dick in the locker room today, more power to you.
And you should. I feel like you should. This was a game you were not expected to win, and you did. You went into their house and took care of business. And now, I mean, this is the 4-game stretch that we talked about that was going to be the toughest for the Patriots. It was going to be do or die time. Now they've beaten Tennessee.
And they're going to beat them again, by the way. They'll beat Buffalo again in Foxborough.
In Foxborough. You got the bye this week. Then you get Indianapolis. Then you got Buffalo at home.
They're going to be the one in the AFC.
Whew.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't know that I've ever said this before. They're going to be the one in the AFC, and you shouldn't want to be.
Why?
Why in God's name would you want to play in Foxborough? Oh, the crowd's so loud. Yes, the wind blows too. Mm-hmm. The wind blows, snow, all the shit that I would be trying to keep Mac Jones away from, that all happens in Foxborough. I would like this team exponentially more playing in Nashville, Tennessee, playing in L.A., playing in, I'm trying to think of warmer Vegas, than I will in New England.
Mm-hmm. Problem is, the other teams at the top of the AFC, I mean, you're likely going to have to deal with that. Kansas City, that's not a fun place to play in the winter.
No, and I just look at it and go, okay, so you can do this. Here's my biggest question. All right, so what were you going to do if Buffalo had started stacking the box 10 deep?
Mm-hmm.
What now? You know as well as I do that Mac Jones could not have thrown in that. If he could have, he would have. He couldn't.
Couldn't even hit a wide open guy if they had just let him go.
Smith was wide open. And that was going against the wind. I will say that was going.
Mm-hmm.
There was nobody within 10 yards. He missed that throw by 10 yards. Johnny Smith had to contort to even get close to it, and then just made an unbelievable catch.
Right.
So what was your that would be if I've always said that after a game like this, I would kill to be able to ask coaches one question, and you have to answer me honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I would kill to know. Bill, if they had just eviscerated your run game, what was your plan? What are you going to do next? Because I'd love to know.
Oh, we didn't need to. That would be his answer. We didn't need to.
No. I don't get Bill's answer. I get the real honest-to-God answer. What was the plan when you set this up with Josh McDaniels? What were you going to do if they stifled your run?
You were going to have to try to do screens and shit. And
I don't think he could have done that.
Yeah.
I really don't.
You would have had to have tried to keep everything
close,
everything within 7 yards.
This was the only smart thing I heard Brian Gracie say all night long. He did a demonstration of how you usually throw a ball like this, and it makes us see. I've never heard anybody say this way, so I was invariably going to repeat this today. In a normal weather, you make C, throw it, spiral it, all that shit. In cold weather, you have to do it this way. Because you have to stabilize the ball, and you have to get as much spin on it as humanly possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, it's going to get into the wind and just sail.
And float, yeah.
I didn't see Mac Jones do it one time.
Mm-hmm.
Not once.
Didn't have
and
to.
I don't think he can.
Really?
That's the problem.
Okay.
He has very small hands.
Yeah.
And then you get into this, he doesn't know how to do that. And now you're trying to learn. Josh Allen's done this forever. Josh Allen played at fucking Wyoming. I think he's seen this before.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, you throw 30 passes in that.
But it's because they couldn't run the ball. It's because they don't have the horses to do that. And when they tried to run the ball, they tried the pitch play to Matt Breida.
They averaged 4 yards a carry, just so you know. Josh Allen ran just fine. The problem is that you're trying to run tiny little Devin Singletary right up the middle, or you throw this big lumbering-ass Zach Moss out on a toss sweep.
Mm-hmm.
What sense does that? I mean, just say it out loud.
Yeah.
We have a little shifty guy that we run right up the middle. We have a big thumper that we try to run to the outside. And we have a quarterback that's 6'4", 2 something.
Mm-hmm.
And quick, and you just don't run. Hellfire. Josh Allen said before the game, I know I'm going to have to run. He ran 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bad game plan. Bad game plan. Just like Armchair just said. Josh Allen ran fine. They got away from it.
Yep.
It is what it is. But I'll be honest with you, there is no fear of me in Buffalo. If I'm Kansas City or Baltimore or whoever, I do love that Armchair is the most realistic Patriots fan that I've ever met.
Right.
I thought this to myself last night. I guarantee you he saw this vaguely the same way I did. Obviously with his red and blue, glasses on, but still. Is what it is.
Yeah, the Buffalo Bills, you got it right. They are a team that nobody should be afraid of.
Nope.
The New England Patriots are a team that I believe everybody should be afraid of.
And see, I don't. I look at it the same way. You can beat me one way.
Mm-hmm.
What if I've said this on the show multiple times. What really scares me for a Super Bowl contender? You can beat me a bunch of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the bunch of different ways that New England could beat you.
Well, if they can shut down your offense, you're right. I mean, they are very one-dimensional offensively.
They're probably the most one-dimensional team in the league, especially in bad weather. This was my fear with Mac Jones when he came out, is that you're going to come into these bad weather games and you can't do it. You've never done it before.
Right.
Everybody thinks because he's a pudgy little unathletic white guy that he's Tom fucking Brady. No, he's not.
Right. Had it been different, had he been,
Mac Jones looked like he wanted to go anywhere else on the planet fucking Earth last night than where he was.
Had he been, 15 of 20 and looked, even half-assed throwing the ball in that wind, it would have sent a different message. However, you had a game plan that there just was no adjustment on the Buffalo side. But still, that's Bill.
HWA asked in the comments, if the win wasn't a factor, would the outcome be the same?
No. I don't think it would have been.
I do.
Really? You think they still would have ran the ball like they did? They wouldn't have taken any shots passing the ball?
No, that's not what she asked. What she asked was, would the outcome be the same? Yeah. At the end of the day, here's how this is going to go 7 out of 10 times. Bill's going to outcoach Sean McDermott.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh Allen is fantastic. Buffalo is not so much more talented than than New England that you can get away from that. Yeah, I think the outcome would have been the same, and I think it's going to be the same 3 weeks from now when they play again.
Okay.
At this point, New England is so much better coached that it makes them the better team.
Mm-hmm.
They're the best team in the AFC East, and it's not even close.
New England?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's not even close.
Which is weird to say because we thought Buffalo was so great.
This is the greatest coaching job Bill Belichick's ever done, period. And I don't even think it's debatable. Literally, this is one of those times, it's kind of like arguing about the earth being flat or, birds being real. We all know to such a point that if you're arguing the other side, you're just an idiot. Like, we know that.
Right.
See, I've converted him. Because it used to be, I would say that, and he would go, birds are real. Yeah, figured it out.
You've beaten me into submission. Now I'm just the Buffalo Bills defense. Just fuck it, fine. You just gonna keep. Just do it.
Just let me grab my ankles and spell run.
Just do whatever you want to do, and you know what? We'll take our chances on a better day. I think at this point, it's you can no longer deny that the New England Patriots are a force to be reckoned with.
Well,
the problem is game script. The game script is going to kill them in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, because you don't have there's not a
second
This is
gear.
what I had. This is the negative that I had with New England forever. You don't have that guy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that guy that Mac can trust. The Stephon Diggs. Did you notice that when Josh Allen absolutely needed a conversion, who'd he go to?
Stephon.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what the second act for Mac is going to look like, I don't know, because he is very, very smart. But he's a guy that I feel like the NFL is going to figure out pretty quick that he has such limitations.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill's not going to coach forever. That's the only thing making me feel even vaguely sane today is that I know Bill can't coach till he's 200 years old. Now, the only problem is that he'll probably retire and I'll die the next day.
Oh,
that's probably how that'll go.
That's a shame.
The day Bill Belichick retires, I'm going to wrap myself in bubble wrap.
9-4.
Because that's the kind of vengeful God we have. He's finally gone. And
9-4, now good enough to be number 1 in the AFC. I did love the post-game press conference with Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde, where the reporter asked them, "Are you embarrassed by giving up 217 yards?"
Oh, good Lord. I really wish they had just looked at those guys and gone,
The disrespect around this place is ending today.
I did think their reaction was a little over the top. However, how are you going to feel? How are you going to feel if you just got your ass whipped for 4 quarters in the worst wind conditions that you've seen as a player and go, motherfucker. Like Jordan, it was Hyde. It was Hyde that was walking off, and he was like, dude, we come here every week and we answer your questions, but don't ever do that again. Like,
don't do that shit. Yeah, well, right. I mean, first of all, and look, I say a lot, I'm not a journalist. I'm not. I'm a talk show host. There's a difference. But journalistically, that's a bad question.
Mm-hmm.
Because you want to know how you shut him the fuck up? Look at him and go, yes, next question. You ask me a yes or no question, you're going to get a yes or no answer every time, 100 times out of 100.
Mm-hmm.
But that journalist got exactly what he was after. He got the reaction he wanted, and he was able to take it to his little Twitter page and put it out there. I personally wish Jordan Poyer had walked out there and just open palm smacked him in the face.
Well, you can't do that because that would just be bad.
I absolutely detest media availability right after these games.
Mm-hmm.
You turn on Scott Van Pelt, or you just leave it on ESPN and let Scott Van Pelt roll. And you're watching these after the – did you hear Matthew Judon after the game?
No.
Like, I'm going to say this as nicely as I can. Matthew Judon is not exactly a rocket surgeon, and so his analysis of what went on was not exactly riveting television. I want to hear Bill. I would like to have heard Sean McDermott.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly, by the end of it, I was so pissed off that I didn't. Sean McDermott could have given me the path to happiness, and I would have wanted to hear it from him.
I checked out of it after the Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde portion.
And you know what? They're completely entitled to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They are. And I had no qualms with it. I don't think they were over the top. I think it went exactly how it should have gone.
I think my response to that reporter would be, "Are you embarrassed that you asked that question?"
Hey, are you embarrassed that your wife blows the neighbor?
Wow.
Oh.
I mean, that went to another level.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Hey, how about that? You want to be a funny guy? I can be a funny guy. By the way, this is why I want to be a coach, so bad I can't stand it. Ask me a question like that. See what I fire back with.
pretty soon you'd be, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Probably. I'd last about 4 weeks.
I don't have an answer for you because I don't want to get fined.
I have an answer for you, and I'll tell it to you in the parking lot. Underneath that street light that doesn't work anymore. How's that sound?
Nice. Anyway, New England Patriots, Buffalo Bills. Moving forward, what does what do we expect from this season? Look, Jeremy said when he came in, like, I'm not even sure that the Buffalo Bills are still a playoff team.
If their schedule wasn't pathetic.
I was going to say.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. You've got 6 teams in front of them right now. If they play the Cincinnati Bengals, what's going to happen? They play Cincinnati on a neutral field right now. Who are you taking?
I think I'd take Buffalo.
I think you're drunk. I'd take Cincinnati. I wouldn't even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
The Chargers, you can convince me of that because they're Jekyll and Hyde. Kansas City, Baltimore, Tennessee, New England. I'm taking all 4 of them. And wouldn't think a second thing about it. So that puts you at 6 at best. Indianapolis Colts have already beat their fucking brains out. And the Cleveland Browns would just run the ball down their throat. Do I think they're one of the 7 best teams in the AFC right now? No, I don't. Do I think they're that talented? Absolutely. But they're not coached that well. And so they will go into the playoffs, and this will be the letdown season of all letdowns for Buffalo Bills fans. And I think you have to ask yourself the same question that I've asked about the Cincinnati Bengals, the Minnesota Vikings, the Philadelphia Eagles, a slew of other teams. Do we have the coach that's going to lead us to where we want to? And my answer is a definitive, hardcore no.
Sean McDermott just can't get it done.
No.
If
you have Super Bowl aspirations, that's not a Super Bowl coach, period. And he looks like Ron Howard all grown up.
He does.
He looks exactly like if Opie Taylor had maybe, at one point, maybe worked at a pharmacy and had a little bit of a stealing problem. That's exactly what he would look like.
A pillhead version of grown-up Opie.
Just not bloated his entire life. Ron Howard has skin that is as velvety as it comes. You can tell that fucker's had money since he was 6.
Right.
Sean McDermott, he looks like, gas station hot dogs, maybe some Whoppers and shit. Not that he's fat, just,
Well, Buffalo's
not necessarily aging all that well.
Yeah.
By the way, Google how old Sean McDermott is. How old do you think he is?
Let's see, 30.
Oh, God. You're bad at this game.
Why?
If you think, first of all, I'm 34.
Yeah.
So if you say 30 anything.
I thought he was like 38, 39.
He's 47.
Is he really?
Yeah. He looks
I thought he was
60.
younger than that.
Well, he looks 60. Oh, let me think of a coach that I know he's younger than. I got a good one.
Okay.
Sean McDermott's 47.
Yeah.
How old's John Harbaugh?
52.
Because to me, Sean McDermott looks older than John Harbaugh.
52?
He's 59.
What the?
John Harbaugh will be 60 in like 7 months.
Nah.
100%. September the 23rd, 1962.
He
is
believe that for a
59 years old.
I wouldn't believe that for a second. Like, I would, if he told me that in person, I'll go, let me see some ID. I need to see it. I need to see your driver's license.
He's also been married to the same woman since I was born. Good for you.
Yeah, good for him.
Usually when I see spouse on Wikipedia, there's like 6 of them because a lot of people have, they had 20s like I did.
Yeah, marriages just don't last.
Bad decisions happen sometimes.
Buffalo's got to go to Tampa Bay this week. That's not going to go well for them, I don't believe.
I would agree with you.
Then you got the Carolina Panthers. Then you're at the Patriots. And then you get the Falcons and the Jets to end the season.
Who the fuck cares?
They're going to be 10-7 at minimum. That's not saying if they sneak one in Foxborough, which is highly unlikely, and if they sneak one at Tampa Bay this next week, which I also think is highly unlikely. Although Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis against that secondary for Tampa Bay is going to be closer than you think.
There's a question in our comments that I really want answered.
Okay.
I'm putting it on a poll right now. I know my answer, and I'm going to answer it. Which Harbaugh looks younger, Jim or John?
Oh, God.
Because to me, it's not even close.
I got to pull up a picture here.
Yes, because you've never seen them before.
I mean, I have, but I've never committed their faces to memory.
They're very close to the same age, but to me, one of them looks way older than the other one.
I would say Jim looks younger.
I disagree. I think
really?
Jim looks like he could be John's dad. Especially with the mom Target shopping khakis that he wears.
Wait, what? Mom shopping Target.
It looks like
khakis.
like a mom shopping at Target. Looks like the pants she would wear to go shop at Target.
Moms wear khakis?
Do you not ever go outside? Go to a Target and look around.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I've told you,
how many women are wearing khakis?
That's more than you think.
No, see, I'm more of a Walmart guy, and they all wear yoga pants when when they're not supposed to.
Who's shocked that he's a Walmart guy? Show of hands. Just give me the clap emoji.
Walmart's better than Target. What can I say?
The fuck did you just say to me?
Uh-huh. Target's for fancy people.
Chuck G said, says the house cat. Oh, no.
Says the house cat. Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
He has a very valid point.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the problem for me is that I just
too
don't
many
like
women wearing khakis.
Here's the thing. I don't like going out in public. If you told me I could go to public places and only see you people, that's fine. That I would be fine with.
Mm-hmm.
However, I go in public and, I run into people that I don't want to. Like anybody else. Not what most would consider a people person.
Mm-hmm. All right, then.
It's just shocking me how much agreement you're getting on on Walmart is better than Target.
Because Alexander said it. Target is overpriced. You can find the same shit at Walmart for cheaper. 100%.
Target's fantastic.
It's all right.
It's fantastic.
What makes it better?
Are we playing Family
the
Feud? The
people?
Oh, is it Family Feud?
Is that what it is? Is the people?
Hold on. Let me get my where's my come on. Go. Where's my bell? I'll do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get my board to move.
Mm-hmm.
Less needles in the parking lot. Less people without teeth. More dogs and yet less dogs at the same time. I mean, I can keep doing this.
You've said I go to the store for one thing. How little monies can I get out of there for?
Yes, and I don't care. I'll spend more money to not step on a hypodermic needle in the parking lot.
Just watch where you're walking. It's not that hard. Go,
Kelvin
needle.
Joyner said Target is the Starbucks of supermarkets. I would agree with that. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, pretty much. I think they all have Starbucks in them anyway.
They do. And I have no qualm with Starbucks. In spite of the fact that there's somebody behind the counter named like, let's go Siding or
what?
Platinum or Starfish or and they always spell my fucking name wrong. Why is it so hard to spell my name?
I don't know.
If I had $1 for every time I've gotten a Starbucks cup that said Jimmy on it, I'd be a fucking millionaire. Okay? It's a common name.
Mm-hmm.
Learn a book.
Learn a book. I don't like paying $6 for coffee, so I don't go to Starbucks. You know me. Cheap as oxygen. I'll just go to the little free thing that's here at the office.
You are the cheapest human being I have ever met in my life.
I would go to an AA meeting despite the fact that I don't have an alcoholic problem because it's free shit. And I like listening to other people's drama.
I would go to an AA meeting because a judge told me to. That is
It's not that bad, but I have watched Fight Club before and gone, that actually might be fun. Going to all the support meetings when you don't have the disease just to hear everybody's horror stories.
Oh, I thought you were saying you would start a fight club, and that
hell
I
no.
am so down, and I want to be the first member.
I mean, I'll ring announce. I'll do that.
That's not how Fight Club works.
I know.
If you're in Fight Club,
You have to fight.
Catch these hands.
Oh yeah, you have to fight. I'm out. Not a fighter. I'm a lover.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm. Sexy man, sexy man.
Tank just went full.
I'm here for the gangbang.
Uh-huh. All right, today or this week, week 14, it's the last week before your fantasy football playoffs. We always talk about the waiver wire. It is slim pickings at this point. Although there are some guys on the waiver wire that you might be able to pick up in your league. The first one that comes to mind is Dontrell Hilliard. He's had 20-plus point games his last two games. They had the bye week last week. I don't know that we put him in the waiver wire segment last week because they were coming up on the bye. But now he's back, and they get the Jacksonville Jaguars this week. So I think Dontrell Hilliard, you need to check and see if he's available in your league. In Yahoo leagues, he's only 41% owned. So I think that's a good idea. It's the only running back that I see, though, that's worth anything this week on the waiver wire.
Kenny Gainwell.
Kenny Gainwell.
He might be the only. He might have played full Philadelphia Eagle running back Fight Club.
Right.
And he is the last one alive.
Mm-hmm.
Because Miles Sanders got hurt in the last game. Boston Scott played 2 snaps. And Jordan Howard was out. He might be the last one left.
Okay.
Left.
All right. Kenny Gainwell. Any other running backs?
Carlos Hyde. He might be the only running back left in Jacksonville. James Robinson is egregiously hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at some point, Urban Meyer has to look at him and go, okay, I have him on my fantasy team too, but sit him down.
Which is weird because at the beginning of the season, we were like, why the hell aren't you running James Robinson? And now you're running James Robinson too much. Carlos Hyde may be worth a flyer, especially in deep leagues.
Conversely, a running back that you can let go of, Nyheim Hines.
Yeah.
He has officially become worthless because Jonathan Taylor is the only running back on that team that matters.
Would you say the same thing about Zach Moss?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's droppable.
You got to give up on that at some point.
There are a slew of running backs that are droppable. Patrick Holt asked, what about AP in Seattle? Okay.
Maybe.
I don't get it.
Maybe.
I just don't understand it.
He's the best option they got, which is an
Adrian
indictment.
Peterson is the Keith Richards of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He just won't go away. Like, just go sit on your mountain of money and do, drugs and whatever. That's Keith Richards. Adrian Peterson, I don't know.
Domestic violence.
Damn it. Hit somebody with a slotted spoon. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what you like to do. I know what I've been told you like to do, and that's not nice. Don't do crimes.
Oh, it's a mischaracterization to say that he likes it. That's his go-to move, apparently.
Kind of like Gary Busey and driving drunk. Like, you've done it so many times that you're not doing it because you hate it.
Anyhow.
That's the sound the bear makes.
You knew that was coming. Oh, wait.
It's like I took the wrong week to quit drinking.
I've been sitting on that button for a while.
Adrian Peterson may be worth a shot. I didn't even see him pop up on the.
He had 11 carries for 16 yards and a touchdown. How deeply can I say this? I'll pass. Him and Rashad Penny are in some kind of weird, gross timeshare, and Seattle sucks.
But they are playing Houston this week.
I don't care who they're playing. They suck.
They got
they
Chicago
play Houston this week, then they go to the Rams and the Bears.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. We get the Lions in the
championship week.
I mean, are you rolling Adrian Peterson if you get into a championship?
Hell no.
I don't think you are.
Hell no.
And if you are, I really need to know how you got there.
It's because I have
Did you do crimes?
It's because I have every top wide receiver for the last 4 weeks of the season.
Did you do crimes? Did you kill everybody else in your league? Because that's the only fucking way I think you got there.
Or you're in a dead league where half of them aren't even setting their lineups anymore.
Or you're in a dead league where half of them are actually dead.
Could be. Let's talk about wide receivers on the waiver wire this week. Amon-Ra St. Brown's the first one that comes to my mind. 6% owned in Yahoo leagues. He had 10 targets for the first time in his career this past week. He did a lot with them. So, I mean, I could see that being a path forward.
I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think anybody that's watched this show for any period of time already knows that.
Mm-hmm.
I own him in a few deep leagues. I think it'd have to be really deep. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a great game against the Minnesota Vikings. He also didn't get Patrick Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
Or not Patrick Peterson. It's going to come to me.
That guy?
He got not Brashad Breeland. That's who Amon-Ra St. Brown got.
Okay.
It's Brashad Breeland.
All right.
Cameron Dantzler. Jesus. Fuck. I was sitting here going, okay, how many corners can I name for the Vikings before I get to the right one?
Who are you trying to find here?
Oh, Patrick Peterson didn't play.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons that I was on Josh Reynolds, but Reynolds got Cameron Dantzler instead of Brashad Breeland.
Right.
I mean, I just look at it and go, yeah, he had 12 targets. If I'm picking up a receiver for the Lions, it's still Josh Reynolds.
Okay.
But then again, I'm looking at it going, why am I picking up a receiver for the Lions?
How about Russell Gage? Any interest in him? He's had 27 targets in the last 3 weeks.
He should be owned. It's just a question of who you're dropping.
Had 11 catches for 130 yards against Tampa Bay this past week. Atlanta continues to play from behind, and he's one of the only options they have in a passing game.
Atlanta's a big fan of playing from behind.
And he's 35% owned.
See how much grosser that sounds when you do it with that voice? I do that to HWA all the time.
MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 19 targets in 2 weeks. He's getting a lot of looks. Maybe not doing a whole lot with him, but he's going to hit a big one. Yeah.
If I'm picking up a receiver this week, it's KJ Osborne.
Okay.
Adam Thielen's hurt. I think Minnesota knows where they are. I think Minnesota. Joshua Penix said something earlier in the show that I'm really locked on, and I want to address.
Okay.
He said the NFC Championship game basically determines the Super Bowl because the NFC looks so much better at the top than the AFC. And the more I've thought about it, I don't disagree with you. How are any of these AFC teams going to beat, whether it's Tampa or Green Bay or Arizona? How is any team in the AFC going to beat them?
I don't know.
I feel like it's the top 3 teams are all in the NFC, and then you have about 7 AFC teams that are right in a row.
Well, to me, there's only one team in the AFC that is getting stronger or looks to be getting stronger right now, and it's New England.
Oh, it's Kansas City.
Oh, Kansas City. I forgot about that. Okay, so 2 teams in the AFC that look like they're getting stronger as the season goes, Kansas City and New England. You look at the others over in the NFC, a lot of teams that just – I mean, the Arizona Cardinals, you expect them to start taking a step back here now with Kyler back and D-Hop getting healthier? No. Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones is coming back. You got Tampa Bay. You got Tom Brady. You got all those weapons. You got week after week, the defense is getting healthier.
I mean, is there an AFC team that's going to beat them?
No.
No. Baltimore gets weaker.
Oh, wait, I was thinking this about Zach Moss earlier.
Oh, wait. Was she a great big fat person?
I couldn't help it. I hadn't hit those two buttons in so long. But.
We'll see how Tennessee looks. Julio Jones is coming back this week, apparently, so that's one piece. A.J. Brown comes back the next week, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then you got 3 more weeks till the playoffs after that.
Here's something,
and then maybe Derrick Henry comes back.
By the way, here's something you really need to keep an eye on. There's going to be a third receiver in Tampa Bay. If you think they're still going to be playing games at the end of the season, they will be relevant. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's Tyler Johnson. I don't know if it's Brashad Perriman. I don't think Antonio Brown's going to play another game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I think it's Tyler.
I don't know.
You think they're going to keep him sidelined once he's able to come back?
Cut him.
Really?
I've heard that from about 7 different places.
Okay.
That they're only keeping him on the roster right now because they have to.
Why do they have to?
I don't know the answer to that.
I was going to say they don't. I don't.
The way
maybe it's something in the contract. I don't know.
It could be. The way it sounded to me is that they were using this 3 weeks to make the determination. Is that they were just buying time. I don't think it's a contractually or anything like that. They have to. They just don't want to make the decision until they have to. That's how I should have said that.
I don't see the sense in that.
Cut to Antonio Brown?
Yeah.
He's a fucking train wreck.
It's good when he's on the field.
Who cares? You can't have blustery Bruce Arians going, because Bruce Arians sounds like Howard Stern way more often than he doesn't.
Right.
First of all, Howard Stern in 1998 would kick current Howard Stern's ass on a daily basis.
Yes, he would.
God, you want to talk about somebody I wish I could buy for what they're worth and sell them for what they thought they were worth? Howard Stern. Jesus, God Almighty, I would live on the taxes of that for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
The last time Howard Stern was relevant, I was in fucking high school.
Bingo.
And now all he wants to talk about is, did you hear what he said yesterday?
No.
That they should send unvaccinated people to Mississippi and let them die there?
This is a fucking
like
idiot.
a leper colony, and then he plans on that he's going to have to run for president in 2024 against Trump just to make sure that happens.
He would get demolished.
First of all, no one would vote for your stupid fucking ass because half the people in the country don't know who you are.
Right. You haven't had a show that people have been able to listen to on a regular basis unless you're a subscriber to Sirius XM Radio since 2005, 6.
Yeah, another thing that I really like about Howard Stern, I love that you have become the liberal champion. A, you were ass man. B, you literally, he said this out loud. I don't know if Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember what he said when Columbine happened?
No.
That the shooters should have raped the ones they shot before they shot them? That's the thing Howard Stern said. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Holy
So
smokes.
you can keep retweeting this motherfucker all you want to. Just remember, I have 40 years worth of Howard Stern things that he yacked out loud.
Yeah.
It ain't real hard to deal with old
Jesus.
Howard.
How did we get on Howard Stern?
You want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Because I was on Twitter about 9 minutes before we started the show, and I went, I'm going to tell Howard Stern to go fuck himself today. That's how we got on that.
I don't even know that I've heard anything from Howard Stern, like seen a post he's made.
That's because
or
you
seen
don't do
anything
Twitter.
Anybody's retweeted by him in years.
Oh, that's because you don't do Twitter. At least not as aggressively as I do.
No.
He's trended on Twitter like 6 times in the last month.
Has he
and
really?
it's all been because he things he said about the coronavirus.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Saf
Again,
one
I'll
Ben Malik said,
say it
what?
again in case nobody heard me. Fucking bootlicker. I can't stand him.
Yeah, Safwan Ben Malik said, wasn't he the original Alex Jones? Kind of. I had never thought of it that way, but yeah, kind of. It's an apt comparison.
Conspiracy theory guy?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Really?
Howard Stern was a lunatic.
Well, I remember when all the FCC shit. So, like, his downfall was when was what 2004 when the FCC went crazy over the Janet Jackson thing. Like, he got to the Lenny Bruce point. Like, remember Lenny Bruce, the later years of his career where he was just talking about Supreme Court cases and freedom of speech and all of that? That was the Howard Stern Show for 3 years before finally everybody went, you need to go to fucking satellite radio because all of us terrestrial stations that are carrying you, no one wants to listen to this.
Jonathan Welch said, Safon, that was the dude with the cowboy hat. You would be referring to Don Imus.
Yeah.
That's actually probably a better comparison. Don Imus and Alex Jones.
Yes.
There's a name I didn't think I was going to say out loud today.
Yeah.
Don Imus in the morning.
He never could recover from that Rutgers statement.
Nope.
Shoot.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. It wasn't even the worst thing he ever said. It was just another of the worst things he ever said.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that as a kid going, have you ever listened to this show? Like, I have. He says shit like that a lot.
Mm-hmm. We were talking about wide receivers on the waiver wire this week.
We were, and then we were talking about radio personalities that we don't like.
Jalen Guyton, Josh Palmer. Kenny, I almost went Kenny Galladay. Keenan Allen has been put on the COVID list. Right.
Yeah.
So he is not going to play this week or may not play this week. So one of those two guys will be filling in that role. You said at the beginning of the season that Josh Palmer should be the guy playing that slot role. You still believe that? After Jalen Guyton had the big week that he had?
I reckon I'll have me some of the bacon.
I love Josh Palmer.
Okay.
That's where I would go. That's more of a DFS play for me if Keenan Allen doesn't play this week. I don't know that I would use a roster spot.
He's not owned at all. So
he's owned at all. You're taking out Dynasty and all kinds of things that people, deep roster, deep league. He's owned in a league I'm in, so I can tell you he's owned somewhere.
He's on somebody's taxi squad or something. And tight end whisperer. I'm ashamed that you missed on get Dallas go dirt last week.
I did, but Armchair didn't.
No, he didn't. But tight end whisperer.
We tag teamed that shit. Boop.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll Express, world's greatest tag team.
Waiver wire this week for tight end. Do you have anybody?
Ricky Seals-Jones.
Okay, with Logan Thomas going down again.
Yeah. If I had to go another tight end.
I'm going to throw you one. You tell me if you like it. Gerald Everett.
I don't hate it, but he should have been on long before this.
Well, he ain't.
I think he was, and then he got cut because it was.
Oh, yeah.
It got very.
It got
bootsy in a hurry.
Well, yeah, especially without Russell Wilson. But
no. I'm talking about after Russell came back.
Oh, okay.
Now Russell's getting healthier, and he doesn't have to dump off to Gerald Everett.
Yeah. Well,
he had the one good game.
No, they are playing the Houston Texans this week. So,
if I had to, I'm trying to think of a guy that's Cole Kmet.
Yep.
If he's still not owned, Cole Kmet is running a elite level of routes, like 76% of dropbacks. He's running a route.
Mm-hmm.
That's real high.
It is. He's very boom or bust. I think last 5 weeks he's had 2 games in double digits.
Tyler Conklin, if he happened to not be owned, that would be another one.
He is available,
especially with Thielen out.
He is available in some leagues. He's higher owned than Gerald Everett and Cole Kmet. I think he's in that 48 range.
Ooh, I'll tell you another one that people have probably given up on.
Okay.
And this is one of those gut feeling he's going to have a game. Top 3 tight ends in the last 4 weeks. Percent of routes run per drop back.
Okay.
Who do you think they are?
Oh, God.
These are guys that never stay in the block. This should not be that hard.
Okay, so like Kelsey?
Kelsey is not in the top.
Really?
He's not in the top 10.
Kittle?
Kittle's 4.
Okay.
Kittle is actually shockingly high to me.
Waller?
Waller didn't
he
play
did
in
miss
one of the
this
weeks.
past week.
He didn't play in one of the weeks, so he doesn't count.
Okay, he doesn't count. I don't know. Just tell me.
Tyler Higbee is 1.
Okay.
Mark Andrews is 2. That's the one that I thought was fucking way up.
Yeah.
Evan Ingram's 3.
He's so bootsy, though.
Jason Trump got Higbee right off the jump, and so did Sainer. Joshua Penix, Dan Arnold missed one of the weeks, so he didn't count either.
So Evan Ingram's
Ingram's 3. T.J. Hawkinson was 5. Several people said Hawk. So
he is gonna have Jake Fromm throwing into him this week.
And what do young quarterbacks love dumping off to?
And yes, you're not wrong. Young tight ends or young quarterbacks do love leaning on tight ends, but think back to Jake Fromm's days at Georgia. Who was like the number one target for him? It was Isaac Nauta.
Yeah.
And Jake Fromm has always been that consistent, accurate kind of a passer. Doesn't have the deep ball arm. So, yeah, I guess it could make sense.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, okay. You've talked me into it. You've talked me into it.
And he's actually readily available. Safwan bin Malagast, isn't Arnold done for the year? Yes, and I could see you doing worse than James O'Shaughnessy, but you'd have to be in a real deep league. Like every guy we've already said would have to be owned.
Right.
That's just where you're at with Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence has that's his parachute. That's the escape lever, is dump it off to a tight end.
I'd probably still take my chances with a guy like C.J. Uzomah before I'd pick up James O'Shaughnessy.
Uzomah's too owned. I'm talking about guys that you're desperate. This guy's going to be available in every league.
Okay.
You've got, let's say you had Dan Arnold, and now you're just crushed at tight end.
Okay. I could see getting to him at that point. All right. ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy always on every afternoon at 3 o'clock. We will be back with you today. Oh, I forgot to do this. I meant to do this at the beginning of the show, and I forgot. So, the 12 Days of Jeremy Christmas movies, we have to start that tonight. His first movie has to be tonight. I have worked up a list. I have 12, but I want suggestions.
We can put this on the socials.
Yes.
I'll make a little graphic with the ones that you've come up with.
Yes.
I can already tell you that there's one that's going to have to come out because it's 3 hours fucking long, and I am Seacrest out.
It's a 3-hour miniseries.
But
and
that's not a movie. Movie.
Okay. Anyway, I've come up with some that I think fit in that wheelhouse, like staying away from majority of the animated stuff, all of that. We want suggestions on what Christmas movies Jeremy should see this year. We did a lot of the big classics last year that he hadn't seen, so we got to kind of go a little deep dive-ier this year.
Oh, but you know what? Sanders got a good one.
Yeah.
I've never seen any of the claymation movies.
You have to have.
I've never seen Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I've never seen.
I think we need to. I think we need to do 4.
I've also never seen Charlie Brown Christmas.
I think we should make you do 4 in one night. Just binge them. Yeah. The Rankin Bass movies, they're only like 40 minutes long.
Okay, 40 minutes long.
Okay, so 3 of them. We'll do 3 of them.
Oh, they're 2.5 hours. You're taking a whole lot of my grab-ass time. I'm a big fan of grab-ass time.
3 of them would only be 2 hours. So I think that works. You got to go Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and The Year Without a Santa Claus. I think those should be the 3.
Jason Trump said, is this a torture ticket for Jeremy? It could be. We didn't pick one of those this week. So we are doing an after show today, though.
Okay.
We never announced that. So if you have specific fantasy questions, if you have something if you want to talk about Howard Stern, we'll do that 5 to 5:30 after the ESPN show today. Another little bit of housekeeping that we need to attend to. We talked yesterday about moving the scheduling around. We have figured out when all of these things are going to happen.
Yes.
23rd?
The 23rd.
The 23rd will be our last live show of the year other than the Sunday shows.
Mm-hmm.
So we will not be here for a week. We're going to take a week off at Christmas, mainly so I don't, drown myself in the toilet. Because you start to get to a point where you're like, I live here.
Right. We've been going steady for 2 years now without a vacation. So this has to happen.
Yeah.
We need to take some time at Christmas to kind of reconnect with who we are. We're gonna record a lot of stuff, college bowl game previews and stuff like that we are going to be putting out in that week that we are off. Mm-hmm. We're going to do the full-on.
We'll have bowl previews for every day, so they'll be live at 10 throughout the break. We'll also have after the break, so we'll be back on January the 3rd or 4th. We haven't decided which day. On that day, we will be moving the morning show to the hour after the ESPN show. Mm-hmm. We will still have content that goes out in the morning. It just won't be live like this, which allows us to do other things. And we will still have some live morning shows. Those are not going away entirely. It will just be, we're no longer committed to them, where we have to have something to put out in the morning, sponsors and all that good shit. So that's just to hopefully make 2022 run a little smoother.
Right.
This current setup was fine when, we were doing it from my basement. Now there's, like driving and sponsors and stuff.
Yep. So, the 23rd will be our last live show. Our last live
ESPN show.
ESPN radio show. We will not be on the radio every afternoon between the 27th, I think, is that Monday, and we might come back on the 3rd. We might also take the 3rd and come back on that Tuesday, the 4th of January. But we will have content for you throughout. We will have all the bowl coverage. We will have, the big picks of the weekend coming out on that Friday on New Year's Eve. We will come in here and record something so we don't have to work on the holiday.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to take care of you. We're going to make sure that you have content.
We just have to.
We just have to take some time off.
Well, that and the schedule just has to change. I mean, because we come in here at 8 o'clock in the morning, we do 2 hours of prep, then we do, like today we've done 70 minutes. Now we got a little under 4 hours between now and the afternoon show, and this is where we have to cram in all the prep, all the sales, all the everything.
Yep.
And like tomorrow, we've got a meeting and a photo shoot in between the two shows.
Yep. And we will have power rankings for you tomorrow morning.
Recorded.
It will be recorded because, like he said, we have the meeting tomorrow morning. So power rankings will be recorded again. We will be with you live this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon and on Friday. Nothing changes until the 23rd. So just wanted to let you guys know a little ahead of time on the holiday schedule. Take the time to enjoy your families, because that's what I'm going to be doing. Hanging out with my kids and enjoying that week between Christmas and New Year's.
And it's there are grandiose things. There will not be a lack of you seeing us. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
If anything, you'll be seeing us more. It will just be in different times.
Exactly. It'll be in different times, different
places,
spurts, if you will,
and in different places.
Indeed. You are in the Sportsocracy, always in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. Great idea for a holiday gift, by the way.
I'm here for the gangbang.
Yeah. You could order your beer from Wicked Weed and give it as a present. How about that? Or wickedweedgear.com. Get somebody a cool kick-ass T-shirt, or I'm not wearing the hat today, but that cool-ass Wicked Weed hat that I always wear. Anyhow, we will see you this afternoon at 3. Like, share, and follow. Subscribe. House of Reprehensibles. All that jazz. We'll be with you this afternoon on ESPN Asheville. We'll see you then.